Hello and welcome to the first year undergraduate lab here in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at UCL. Today I'm going to be taking you through the equipment that you will need to carry out the CP over CV experiment. When you arrive at your experiment, it should already be set up like this. You will be using 3 different gases, and these are supplied from taps on the bench. These 3 taps are connected by a flexible tube to 3 other taps, which you can use to select which gas you are using to measure CP over CV. There is one outlet which is connected to a flow meter. You can use this knob on the side of the flow meter to adjust the flow of gas. The flow meter is connected by another length of flexible tube to a 1-liter flask. At the top of the flask there is a T-junction. A flexible tube connected to this T-junction goes to a manometer. A manometer is simply a U-shaped piece of tube which can indicate a difference in pressure. At the top of the flask is a tube containing a metal ball bearing. This is the heart of the experiment. At the bottom of the tube there is a spring which prevents the ball bearing colliding with the glass. At the top of the glass tube is a piece of mesh which prevents the ball bearing flying out into the room. On either side of the tube you will notice 2 small holes. You have also been provided with a barometer, a thermometer and a hygrometer. Begin the experiment by turning on the 3 main gas valves. You can now use the smaller valves on the apparatus to decide which gas you'd like to experiment with. For this demonstration we will be using nitrogen. Slowly open the valve a small amount. You will see the ball in the flow meter rise and then fall back down as there is no flow yet. Now, using that knob on the side of the flow meter, slowly increase the flow rate while observing the ball bearing in the glass tube above the flask. Gently and carefully increase the flow until the ball rises off the spring and starts to oscillate around the holes. Continue to increase the flow until the ball stops making contact with the spring and you have stable operation. You will observe that the liquid in the manometer also begins to oscillate. This is what the system looks like when it is running and stable. You will need to take measurements of the oscillation of this ball, and for that you are provided with a stopwatch. When you are ready to experiment with a different gas, slowly turn the tap of the gas you are using off. When you do this, the oscillations will slowly die away until the ball comes to a gentle rest on the spring. When you're ready to experiment with a different gas, simply turn the tap for that gas on. Again, very slowly and carefully, and only a small amount. The ball will then begin oscillating again as it did before. Remember, because you're changing the gas, you would need to run it for a few minutes so that all of the previous gas is flushed out. When you are done, remember to turn the flow back down to 0. Then turn off the small tap. And lastly, turn all of the main taps off. Remember to record the atmospheric pressure, the ambient temperature, and the humidity using the devices provided. And that is how you carry out the CV over CP experiment. Good luck!